take a look at this stock market performance for Vodafone Idea. What do you see here? A business that showed a lot of growth in its first few years. But then something happened and the stock price lost its 80% of its value in what I call the wealth destruction phase. Post that, the business recovered and the stock touched an all-time high. But after that, a final blow was struck to the business. As a result of it, the stock is now reduced to a penny stock and is trading in the range of 10 to 15 rupees. So if you are an investor of Vodafone Idea or if you want to invest here, please watch this video till the very end. I will be telling you the business story of Vodafone Idea, what went right for them, what went wrong for them, the financials, the risks involved, and most importantly, with the government of India now acquiring 36% stake in Vodafone Idea, can this business stage a turnaround? All of that and much more, let's find out in this video. Let us first now talk about the growth phase of Vodafone. The stock got listed in the market in 2007 at a price of 52 rupees. Within a span of 1 year, yes, only 12 months period, the stock hit a high of 95 rupees. That is a growth of 80% from its listing price. Now, why did that happen? Understand this, Vodafone Idea was one of the very few private players that has just stepped into the telecom space of India. And within no time, it was able to establish itself across 23 telecom circles in India. And there was a vast opportunity in front of Vodafone to expand across the entire country. With that opportunity in sight and with the growth projection that it was currently at, the stock rose up and it showed the levels that you currently see in this chart. But soon in 2008, something happened, as a result of which the stock lost most of its value. What was that? Let's find out. Take a look at this chart where Vodafone stock went from 95 rupees to 22 rupees in only 1 year. That is a loss of 80% of the investor's wealth. Now, at this point of time, the global financial crisis had hit the world. But was the telecom sector directly affected by it? Probably not. But this was a time when the world economy was in a recessionary phase and the telecom sector, even indirectly, but it was definitely affected to some extent. But this was not the only reason why the stock suffered such a massive downfall. It was at this time that Vodafone was involved in a tax case worth $2.5 billion with the Income Tax Department of India. This was over the purchase of Hutchinson SR, the tax component of which had to be paid in India as per the Income Tax Department, but Vodafone thought otherwise, so it led to a massive downfall in their stock performance because of the mammoth scale that this case was at. $2.5 billion. Both these factors had a role to play in Vodafone stock's downfall, which is why you see the kind of chart that you are currently seeing on the screen. But post that, when the world economy improved, when the global financial crisis ended, did we see some recovery in the stock? Let's find out. Take a look at this chart from 2009 to 2016. From a low of 22 rupees, the stock hit an all-time high of 122 rupees, which is a growth of almost 500%. What was the reason behind the same? The biggest win for Vodafone came in the form of the win of the tax case that was filed against them by the IT department. This whole $2.5 billion tax dispute that Vodafone was involved in, the decision was ruled in their favor by the court. This came as a huge relief for Vodafone and its business. This was also a time when the world economy recovered from the global financial crisis and it was on a growth path. Vodafone started to expand itself into newer and newer telecom circles. They started to gain new subscribers. As a result of that, both their top line, which is the revenue, and their bottom line, which is the profit, kept on increasing. For me to explain this to you, take a look at their revenue growth from 2012 to 2016. you will observe that Vodafone's business was continuously on an increasing trend. The growth path is evident from the fact that the subscribers that they were adding on a year-on-year basis was continuously increasing, and Vodafone soon emerged as the largest private player in the telecom space. You can see a similar trend in the profit chart as well from 2012 to 2016. A constant upside, which just goes to show that while their top line was increasing, their costs were not going out of control, which is why their profit was also increasing on a year-on-year basis. Now, they had a dream run till 2016, but from 2016, something happened which completely turned the scales against Vodafone. What was that? Let's find that out in the next segment. Take a look at their stock journey from 2016 up until now, which is 2022. The stock has continuously fallen to an extent that it is now reduced to a penny stock and is trading in the range of 10 to 15 rupees. Now, this happened because of the emergence of a new player in the market, Reliance Jio. From 2016, when Reliance Jio made its entry in the telecom market, it started offering very cheap data plans, call plans, voice plans to its customers. As a result of that, a lot of subscribers shifted from Vodafone Idea, Airtel to Reliance Jio because of the kind of service and the kind of prices that they were offering. Now, because Vodafone and Idea were huge players in the telecom sector up until now, the effect that these players were seeing was also very high. They started losing out a lot of subscribers on a monthly basis, which directly converted to a loss in their overall revenues that they were earning. You can see this from the chart as well from 2016 to 2020, where you will see that their revenues were consistently going down. A similar trend is observed in the profit as well, where their profits also went down from 2016 onwards. As a result of this, Vodafone and Idea had to merge to form a consolidated entity called Vodafone Idea. Did the situation improve post that? Yes, Vodafone Idea became the third largest player after Jio and after Airtel. But there was a long way to go for this company because they were still not gaining subscribers, which would mean that their revenue and their profit was not going to go up. Sooner we then found out that the government is now taking up a 36% stake in this company. Does that signal a turnaround? Will we see a complete reversal in the business prospects for Vodafone Idea? Let's find out. Now, the government of India took a 36% stake in Vodafone Idea in exchange for 16,000 crore rupees. This was because Vodafone Idea owed a huge amount to the government of India. What are the potential benefits of this? One benefit is directly that because it's the government that owns their business, a quite significant part of it, Vodafone and Idea is definitely not going out of business. There were serious concerns about this when Jio and Airtel started to gain a lot of subscribers and Vodafone started to lose subscribers on a monthly basis. But for now, this concern is reduced because the government has now taken substantial share in Vodafone Idea. The second benefit here is because the policies are eventually made by the government, it is possible that they might see some sort of a benefit or some sort of a leeway towards Vodafone Idea in the policies that the government is going to come up with. Because eventually the government would not want Vodafone Idea to fail. The third and the final benefit could be, and this is a little far-fetched, is that Vodafone Idea could end up with a potential merger with MTNL as well. Now, MTNL is a government-owned company that has very similar fundamentals to Vodafone Idea. A continuous decline in their revenue, a continuous decline in their profit, losing out subscribers, a continuous decline in their average revenue per user as well. So from a synergy point of view, Vodafone Idea and MTNL could also merge in the future. But the larger question still remains, will Vodafone Idea stage a turnaround now that the government is invested? To be honest, I really don't think that would be possible at this moment. The huge challenges that Vodafone Idea has in front of them are as follows. They still owe close to 40,000 crores to the government, which means that in the future government might have to infuse more capital or take up additional share in the company, which will again not be a good sign for their business. The second part is the biggest challenge that Vodafone faces is the loss of subscribers. Now there is no plan as to how they are going to reverse this trend, because Jio and Airtel are right now far ahead of Vodafone Idea. And if the subscribers do not switch back to Vodafone, or if Vodafone doesn't gain new subscribers, it will not show the kind of revenue growth and profit growth that it will need to convince its investors that the business is now in a turnaround phase. So right now I am very skeptical on this business. I do not expect a sudden turnaround here, but please watch out on the monthly financial reports that the management comes out with. Do we see an increase in the subscribers? Do we see an increase in the average revenue per user? Do we see an increase in the revenues? And most importantly, how much of an interest does government have in reviving Vodafone Idea? Alright, this was my analysis for Vodafone Idea's business. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe to Finance Lens, and I'll see you the next time.